Greetings viewers, welcome back to the channel. In today's video we've got a 2004 Subaru Impreza Outback Sport. Customer contacted me, had some issues with the idle on the car, had complaints of low power, car wouldn't get up to speed, said that they rebuilt the engine, he and a friend, about 10,000 miles ago. Couldn't give me the date if I remember or not when this actual issue started on the car. But like I said, it's low on power, check engine lights on, and his issue, what he described to me, was that the idle was at like 2,000 RPM and fluctuating. If you depress the clutch pedal at idle, stationary, it would redline essentially. And just some weird stuff going on as far as what he has done so far. Before bringing me the car, he told me he put a TPMS on it, throttle position sensor. I can't remember what else. If that, he did mention that the idle air control valve's O-ring was boogered up. I don't know if he took it out and cleaned it and it got damaged or what, but we'll take a look at that. Scanned it last night when it came in. When it came in last night, it was idling where it should. The issue I was experiencing when I went to pull it into the shop was it had no power. You would give it throttle and it would bog a little bit. You could kind of feather the throttle and you would finally get it to rev up. Weird little issue. Haven't really seen one quite with this issue before. Some more history on the car. I know I'm jumping back and forth, but as it's coming to me, he said that he had a P0420 code after the rebuild. He removed the cat, knocked the guts out of the cat due to being in South Carolina, not having emissions testing. He, I don't remember if he had a P0420 or if he said the cat was clogged. One or the other, but the end result was he took the cat pipe out, gutted the cat out, and put it back in. And I think he said that when he put it back in that he believes he shorted one of the oxygen sensors, so he might have fried the drivers in the PCM. Not sure. We'll get into that later in testing. Codes that I scanned it when it came in because it had check engine light, pulled it in last night and scanned it, and that was basically it. Went home. Codes that were active, 0. History codes, it had 5. It had P0301, P0302, P0303, P0304, which respectively is cylinder misfire on cylinder 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then it had a P0068 for the map sensor. So with that said, I have not started the car today. It's going to be a cold start, so let's go ahead and fire it up together and see what it's going to do. I don't know if specifically he said the issue he described was when it was cold, but when he drove it down yesterday, it wasn't having the issue with the high idle and everything else. It just would not take throttle. So let's go ahead and start the car up and see what we get. Hopefully you can hear me over the car. It's got a bit of a loud exhaust. But now that we've got it fired up, it is not really idling out of the ordinary. It's actually a little bit low. Let me go look at the RPMs. It's idling between 500 and 1,000, so maybe 700 RPM, which is about where the car should idle. Let me see if the check engine light is still on. Check engine light is still illuminated. We'll probably hook the scan tool back up, see if we've got any current codes for this firing or if there's still the history codes we had before. So what I'm going to do is just let the engine run, get it up to temperature, see if it starts idling odd or having any other symptoms that he described. And actually, as I'm talking here, RPM is starting to raise on the car by itself. RPM is now roughly 1200, which normally Subarus do idle up when cold to get up to operating temperature, and once they get partially up to temperature, the idle returns back to normal. So, as I was trying to say, we're gonna let it run, get it up to temperature, see if it has any weird symptoms like described, and if it does, we'll come back. All right, so I ran the car for a while. It didn't idle high, it didn't, take off redlining, anything crazy like the owner described. So what I'm gonna do now is hook the scan tool up, scan the car again, see if there's any codes, more so than what we originally had yesterday when I scanned it. If we don't have anything, what I'm gonna do is take the air box off. I'm going to look at the IAC, look at the throttle body, see if I see anything out of the ordinary, anything that shouldn't be. If I don't see anything there, what I'm probably gonna do is smoke the whole intake tract to find any possible air leaks in the intake system. Just listening around the engine, it did sound like I had a bit of a vacuum leak somewhere. I heard a little bit of a sucking noise somewhere on top of the engine. It may have been me mishearing something, but gonna check that out, and from there might go ahead and check fuel pressure. It might be low fuel pressure. Kind of in the dark with this one because I don't have a lot to go off of via the codes that are stored. All right, so pulled the air box, no obstruction really in the air filter. Throttle body was clean as a whistle. No buildup or anything on the IAC. The IAC O-ring was severely deformed and damaged, so I went ahead and replaced it. There's a quick shot of that damaged O-ring that was around the IAC. After replacing that, started it up, and it seemed to take throttle input a little bit better. Throttle response was improved. So with that said, we're gonna go ahead and get the smoke machine out, and we're gonna smoke the intake and rule out any other vacuum leaks, and make sure nothing else is going on screw there before moving on. All right, so we've passed the smoke test, not finding any leaks. We're gonna move on from here. Probably take a look at the map sensor and recheck code, see if anything's active at the moment. All right, so now we're back over on the Subaru Select Monitor Scan Tool, which is hooked up to the Impreza. We're gonna go in to our engine control systems. 2.5 single red cam. We're going to look at our diagnostic codes, memorize codes. We've got the same cylinder 1, 2, 3, 4 misfire and manifold pressure sensor range and performance code. We're going to get out of here. We're going to look and see if there's any current active codes. None are active. So what we're going to do is go back. We're going to clear these codes. We're going to go back and look at our data display. And throttle opening angle is 0%. He did put a new TPMS on it, so I wanted to make sure that he got it set upright because there is an adjustment to it. So just walked over to the car, pressed the throttle all the way down. And now as we see, throttle opening angle maximum is 92.2%, minimum is 0%. And I'm not sure exactly if that's the range we should be seeing here. We should probably see close to 100%. But according to the factory service manual, which we'll switch over to right here, as long as the value is less than 5% when the throttle is fully closed, you're good. And as long as it's more than 85% when the throttle is fully opened, you're good. So no issue with that. And as far as the map sensor, it's been reading fine as well while the vehicle is running, as it should, so no issues there. Went back to look at the live data again, see if I could pick out anything that looked weird. As you see on the screen here, we've got our AF correction and our AF sensor. That's our bank 1 sensor that runs the fuel trims for the vehicle. And as we see, it is pegged out right about 1 volt, which is pig rich. And as a result of that, AF correction is negative 25%. That means that the PCM is subtracting fuel from the equation because according to the oxygen sensor, the engine is running rich. So as a correction, to get the air-fuel ratio to where it needs to be, the computer is now pulling fuel, trying to get this number off of 1. So, since it's stuck here, since there's a new CAT, since there's new oxygen sensors, there's pretty much 2 things that can be causing the issue from here out. We've either got a bad front oxygen sensor, contaminated oxygen sensor, something of that. Actually, there's 3 possible because of the scenario he told us where he shorted the oxygen sensor. So either the oxygen sensor is bad, the new one is contaminated, something's wrong. 2, the PCM driver that detects the data from the oxygen sensor has burned out and is stuck at rich. Or we have a fuel injector that is stuck partially open or leaking, and the car is actually running extremely rich. So judging from the smell of the exhaust, I'm not exactly sure if it's actually running rich or if it's running lean. It's kind of a very hard smell to put down. It doesn't typically smell like your typical rich condition where you get the fuel vapor burning your eyes and it's chugging dark smoke when you accelerate. It's not acting like it's running rich. It smells more like a very hot catalyst smell, which would be a lean condition. So from here, I've got a known good oxygen sensor. I might go ahead and swap that in there. If we don't see anything from there, we'll probably pull the injector and rail up together to see if we've got any leaking fuel pressure, any leaking injectors. First, I'll probably install a fuel pressure gauge just to see if when key off, if we have a severe drop in the fuel pressure, which would indicate a leaking injector. So we've got a couple of little tests to run, but pretty sure this is where we're going to find our answer between this oxygen sensor and the data that is given the PCM. So while I've had the engine running on this 04 Impreza Outback, I noticed that the crank pulley, the harmonic balancer there, was wobbling all around. So I decided I was going to take the belts off and get a better look to see what's going on there. And this is what I found. The balancer is not tight, the crank bolt is not tight, and it moves back and forth. I've got a bad feeling that they've wallered out the cotter key for the crankshaft and possibly have the timing off. Absolutely not sure how this car was running the way it was, but I'll bring you back as soon as I get this pulley off and we see what kind of carnage is underneath there. Well, I was afraid of that. The harmonic balancer is well and true destroyed. Have not peeked down at the crankshaft yet and the timing pulley. Let's see if I can see. Oh gosh, that's what I was afraid of. Oh man. I guess I'll be pulling these timing covers now and seeing how bad this is. You really boogered this up. Alright guys, timing covers off and it is not looking good in here. One, this belt is super old. I assume he reused it when he did the rebuild. Looks like the idler pulley down here is starting to come apart. There's lots of little metal shavings, although granted that's probably a lot of the harmonic balancer. All of the pulleys have a lot of glitter on them. The belt guard isn't even tight. A whole bunch of cross-threaded bolts I found, mainly here on the tensioner. A lot of the incorrect bolt in the incorrect hole. Random bolts and fasteners sitting inside of the car. So here is the main issue. This is what's driven me crazy. I've been chasing a Phantom rich condition with the oxygen sensor I thought was a Phantom rich condition. I've been chasing vacuum leaks, all kind of things I've tested in this video, and my gut, as soon as I saw that harmonic balancer wobbling like the first time I pulled it in the shop, I said I need to investigate that, but I kind of brushed it off. Should not have brushed it off. Here is our issue. Our timing is off. Not sure if I'll be able to save this engine or not. A lot of times when this happens, this keyway, the little slot in the crankshaft, gets wallered out where you can't put a new Woodruff key in there and get it all to line back up. A lot of times when this happens, it's just your engine becomes a big old paperweight. You could put a crankshaft in it. Some places can weld and repair the snout of the crankshaft, but the time, money, and everything, you might as well get a short block or get an engine out of the junkyard or salvage yard. So this is where we're at on this car. Going to be pulling the timing set off tomorrow after I contact the customer. Going to try to find a new Woodruff key. Going to see how bad the crank is messed up, see if I can get it back timed correctly, and get it to fire off, and see if that corrects the low power and hesitation, which I'm pretty sure that's where our problem is. So, or the entire problem. There might be some electrical issues still. Like he said, he shorted out the O2, so I don't know if he burned up the computer or what when that happened. There's just too many variables on this car with the work that's been done to it. So, that said, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.